sex determination. Now, in sexual reproduction, we have seen it involves individuals of two different sexes. That means in a population, the individuals can be divided in two sexes. We call one as the male and the other as the female sex, or the male gender and the female gender. So when a child is born, the child could either be a male gender or a female gender. What is it that decides that an offspring or an organism is a male gender or a female gender? Now, there are a number of factors that determine the gender of an organism. Out of these, we're just going to learn two. One is the environment. How environment determines the gender of the offspring, and the other is the chromosomes or the genes. How chromosomes or genes determine the gender of an organism. Let's first get up to environment. Now, environment being a factor to determine the gender is seen in reptiles. Not all reptiles, in some reptiles. The temperature plays an important role. The temperature at which the eggs are hatched. Play an important role. A very good example is that of a turtle. If the temperature is high in the nest of the turtle, you get female. But if the temperature is low in the nest, you get male. And to explain this example even further, in the coral reef these days, they find there are a lot of female turtles but less males. There are more females. And why could that be? It's because of global warming. Because of global warming, the seas are getting warmer, the weather around is getting warmer. Hence, most of the eggs are now hatching into female turtles rather than the male turtles. So remember, in reptiles, example turtles, it is a temperature of nesting or the temperature of the nest that determines the gender. High temperature, you get a female. If the temperature is low, you get a male. So that was for environment. Now let us see how chromosomes determine the gender of the organism. To understand about chromosomes and how they determine the gender, first let's go over what are chromosomes. We see that all the DNA, which is an instruction manual or the blueprint of our body, or it's called the master molecule. So it's present in the form of a network in the nucleus. Here is a nucleus and the DNA is present as a network. When the cell is about to divide, what I'm drawing is a nucleus. When the cell is about to divide, this network organizes themselves into these chromosomes just before dividing, rod-shaped chromosomes. So the entire DNA is present in this rod-shaped chromosomes. We also have seen we have 46 chromosomes. Humans have 46 chromosomes. So how many pairs? We have 23 pairs. Now out of these 23 pairs, there are two types. 22 pairs are called the autosomes, and they determine all characters other than sex, the non-gender characters. They determine all the, like the characteristics of the eye, maybe the skin color, maybe the shape of your nose. So all these are determined by the autosomes. But we have one pair of chromosomes. One pair means two chromosomes which are involved in determining the sex or the gender of the individual. So out of the 23 chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes, 23 plus 23, 46, 22 pairs are called the autosomes. They are not involved in determining the gender. They are only involved in determining other characteristics. And we have one pair here which is involved in determining the sex or the gender. So let us learn more in detail about the sex chromosomes. Now the sex chromosomes are of two. One is called the X chromosome. We call it the X. And we have another which is called the Y chromosome. And this Y chromosome is a little shorter than the X. So the Y is a little shorter and the X is a little longer chromosome. So we have two chromosomes, sex chromosome. One is called the X chromosome and the other is the Y chromosome. Now males have got one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, while females have both X chromosomes. So in the male cell, now remember we are only drawing the sex chromosome. We are drawing, just to revise again, there are 22 pairs called the autosomes and one pair which is a sex chromosome. So here we are not dealing with the 22, we are dealing just with this one pair. So everywhere we are going to talk only about the sex chromosome. Since we are talking about gender determination, we are not going to get involved or mark the autosomes. Now a male cell will have one X and one Y, while we saw the female has both X chromosomes. So this is diploid cell. Now this cell, to form gametes, will break up into two. And this cell also, before reproduction, the 2X has to be made X. That I explained in the earlier slide to you, how the 2X cannot combine with 2X straight away. You will get 4X, which is not desirable. So that means the offspring will not have the same number of chromosomes as their parents. So this is very undesirable. So what happens is the 2X chromosomes, which in this case is 46, breaks down into X and X. So the 46 become 23 and 23. And these are called the gametes. This happens in all sexual reproduction. So similarly here, the male now, when it forms the gametes, it will break down into X and they will be Y. And in the female, you will have both X because it has only the X chromosomes. So these are the sperms, which are the male gametes. And these is the egg, which is a female gamete. So if you notice here, the sperms are of two types. You have the X sperm and you have the Y sperm. So the males produce two kinds of sperms and hence they are called heterogametic. They'll have the X sperm as well as the Y sperm. So if I draw the sperm in this manner, you will have, I think the X, I'll have to probably draw it in red since I've kept it in red. This would be the X sperm. And then you have the Y sperm. So that's why males are heterogametic. But when it comes to the females, they are homogametic. They both have, all the eggs are of the same type, having the X chromosomes. So the females are said to be homogametic, all the same type of chromosomes, all same type of gametes. So now let's see what happens in sexual reproduction. You have the male individual and the female. It involves the male and the female individual. We see the male has got the X chromosome, the female has got both X, and the male has got this Y. And now the male will produce the gametes. We'll break it to half, these two. And here also will produce the gametes. The female will produce the gametes here. Now that we have already seen the male produces, this will be 1x, the female will be both x and x, and this male will be 1x and 1y. Now what are the different combinations possible? It could be this sperm could fertilize this egg. If that happens, then you'll have x and x, and you'll have a female. Or this sperm could have fertilized this egg. So you'll have again x and x, and that would result in a female. But it could be that this y fertilizes the x, and now you'll have x and y. You'll have a male. Or this same sperm could have fertilized this x. So you'll have again x and y, and you have a male. So if you were very carefully to observe this, you would have observed when this X chromosome fertilizes the egg, this X1 fertilizes the egg, you will get a female. But when the Y chromosome fertilizes the egg, this is the case when this Y fertilizes the egg, and you will get a male. So who decides the sex of the child, the sperm or the egg? And the answer is, it is the sperm that decides, because the egg is only of one type. We have the egg is only X. So here we said the sperm is, the egg is just of one type, and it's just X. If a sperm that is X will fertilize the egg, then what you will get is XY, XX, which is a female. But if the egg is fertilized by a sperm that is Y, then what will happen is you will get XY, and that will be a male. So it is the sperm that determines the gender of the child. Let's do the sex determination in tabular form. So you have here X and X, which are the female gametes, and you have X and Y, which is the male gametes. So in the first thing, you would definitely put X and X. This would be also X and X. So here would be a female. This also would be a female. Here we'll get X and Y, and here also you'll get X and Y. So this would be a male, and this would be a male. So what are the chances of getting a female and a male child? So female and male, 2:2, which means 1:1. So it's 50% chances to get a male or a female, equal chances to have a male child or a female child.